So there's a fascinating phenomenon going on right now. We track a lot of crypto influencers, and with the recent market patterns, a lot of them have turned extremely bearish. Some of them have gone quiet. We haven't heard from them for a while. They're sort of trying to feel out what the market's going to do. And there's a small, select handful of crypto OG influencers who have nailed the last couple of cycles, who could not be more bullish right now. And one of them is Peter from House of Crypto. And let me show you just how bullish Peter is. More Crypto Online posted this famous Wall Street cheat sheet, which is the psychology of a market cycle, one complete market cycle. From the very beginning, disbelief, all the way through hope, optimism, belief, thrill, euphoria at the top, then down the other side, complacency, anxiety, denial, panic, capitulation, then anger, then the sideways market, then starting it all again in disbelief. Now, answering More Crypto Online's question of where are we right now in this chart, Peter from House of Crypto responded with this image. He says that we are in the disbelief phase, which is literally, guys, the very start of the cycle. And so in this video, we're going to be breaking down the 3 biggest criteria that Peter from House of Crypto is using to be so hyper bullish despite the rest of the market being pretty goddamn bearish. And we're even going to talk about a specific token that Peter from House of Crypto is extremely bullish on and has made a price prediction well above the current price of that token. But of course, before we jump in, this video and all other videos on this channel are for entertainment purposes only. Modern financial instruments, including crypto, are highly volatile and the majority of retail clients will lose money. Do not invest any capital you're not prepared to go to zero. Oh, and below in the description are 2 important links. The first is a link to our early alpha and whale tracking community that will monitor the wallets, portfolios of big influencers like Musk, Trump, Tate, CZ, Becca, Murad, and Crypto God John, and will monitor these wallets on the blockchain and their social media for you to see any activity of new buys, promotions, or launches of new tokens, so we can send you a message the exact moment that that happens, helping you move up the Web3 food chain. The second link is a link to our Financial Escape Velocity workshop to give you a clear and exact step-by-step personalized roadmap, and if you're really committed, make the world seem as cheap as Temu. With that being said, let's jump in. Now, we'll get to the 3 factors in a second, but I want to show you that Peter really believes that we're in that disbelief early phase, because the Bitcoin therapist also posted the Wall Street cheat sheet psychology of a market cycle post on Twitter. And he said, do you think the Bitcoin bull market is over, or is the 4-year cycle broken? We're going to be talking a lot about that in this video, because a lot of people think that the 4-year cycle is once again repeating itself and Bitcoin is going to be crashing even more soon. And if you do believe that's the case, I also have something at the end of the video that will be very beneficial for you to stay around for. But the Bitcoin therapist says we are here in the disbelief phase, not here in the anxiety phase, about to fall out of the market, which most people believe we are. House of Crypto says, agreed. Finally, someone with an ounce of common sense. We're in the disbelief phase all the way. So, to understand how Peter can be so highly convicted in his bullishness, you need to have a look at this chart. This might be the most important chart that Peter has showed. I believe it is from Railpal's premium community, but it is showing the liquidity flow in the world. And this is from House of Crypto's recent YouTube video, where he talks about every single top of the cycle has aligned not because of the 4-year cycle, not because of the Bitcoin halving, but because of the liquidity flow in the world. I'm going to show you one insight that might be mind-blowing to you, because it certainly was for me, and I think Peter as well for House of Crypto when we heard about it. But before that, have a look. Every time you have a cycle top, you've had an inflow of liquidity to late 2013 to early 2014, of course the 2017 one, and then the massive inflow of liquidity, which was the biggest bull cycle we've ever had, of which Peter also says that's why we've had quite the biggest bear cycle that we've ever had, because we are coming off the back of the biggest bull cycle we ever had, so therefore it's going to be a little bit more intense and a little bit longer. But you can see, especially in 2021, that bull market cycle aligned once again with liquidity. People having money in their hands, all those stimulus checks, all the money printing in order to buy these assets and bid up their prices. Then as quantitative tightening happens, you can see the prices will start to come down. Peter says, everyone says the 4-year cycle is back and the bull market is over. It's not. they're looking at the wrong cycle. Crypto isn't random. It follows liquidity. It does not follow the halving. It does not follow random 4-year cycles. It is following the flow of money. And liquidity follows something most people never look at. Guys, this is the big aha moment. House of Crypto, Peter from House of Crypto, and also Raoul Pal think that the entire market is dictated on the US debt refinancing cycles. Here is why. From 2010 to 2021, the US issued 3 to 4 year bonds, or 3 to 4 year loans, meaning they have to be paid back every 4 years, and therefore the US had to print in order to pay them back, which is written here. When those bonds matured, the Treasury had to refinance them. Old bonds or loans were paid back, and investors get a cash wave as the US government literally print to pay back their investors. New bonds were issued later, and temporary liquidities surge. These surges lined up almost perfectly with past bull crypto run. Every time the government paid back the people who bought these bonds, crypto and other risk assets shot up to the moon. That's why the 4-year cycle looks so real. It wasn't magic, it was a debt maturity thing, because every 3 to 4 years is when the debt matured and they had to turn on the money printer. But according to macro legend, who we're talking about, Raoul Pal, where House of Crypto gets a lot of his information from, something huge has changed. In 2021, which is the peak of the last cycle, the US Treasury extended the maturities, extended what time frame they had to pay their bonds back in. The refinancing window actually got stretched to 5 years, meaning the biggest liquidity flood is now shifted towards 2025 and 2026. It gets even bigger than that. Not only are we going to have that refinancing liquidity that we've had every 3 to 4 years, but we're going to be having that next year, but we're also entering a phase where the Fed rates are coming. Whether we get the rate cut in December, which is about an 80% chance we're going to get it, but even if we don't, Trump is picking the head of the Fed, and Trump is extremely pro-hot economy, meaning cutting those interest rates and getting as much liquidity and money flowing as possible. Quantitative easing is expected to return. Trillions in debt must be refinanced, literally must be, and the only way you can refinance a debt is printing more money. And they're all going to be happening at the same time. Rate cuts plus QE plus refinancing equals the largest liquidity wave of the entire cycle. So what's happening right now? You're having market manipulation plus the old 4-year narrative is scaring people out early. The goal is to make you believe the bull market is finished, but the truth is, according to Peter, that the real run hasn't even started. Crypto isn't breaking the cycle has shifted, and most people haven't noticed. Don't get trapped here, don't get shaken out. The liquidity super cycle is still ahead, according to Peter. Now, the second factor, and these two factors are more social factors. Peter thinks that the macroeconomics obviously is going to have a strong influence on crypto and risk asset prices. I mean, you'd be pretty crazy to think that that's not actually a thing. But number 2 and 3, they're more social and psychological reasons why Peter thinks that we have not topped. And to be honest, I agree with both of them as well. Filicone says, don't get too hopeful. This is a relief rally, he's tweeted this today, expected before another major leg down. He thinks it will pump back up to $90,000 Bitcoin, and we're going to keep crashing down because we are in the later phase of the market cycle, according to Filicone. cc.sui says, every post on my timeline says the same thing. Everyone is in agreement with that. And House of Crypto came in and says, this is exactly why it will not play out like this. Everyone historically have not predicted the bear market. They have not predicted the bull market. Historically, the consensus is always wrong, which brings us to the third reason why House of Crypto, Peter from House of Crypto, I should say, his actual name, is so bullish, is because whales, institutions, and smart money continue to buy. And historically, smart money and whales by far outperform retail and the normal person in predicting market cycles. Simply Bitcoin says, the number of wallets holding over 1,000 Bitcoin just went vertical. Hope you know what that means. And you can see right here, this massive spike in Bitcoin whales, people holding more than 100,000 Bitcoins, so true whales, and has had a massive surge as the price of Bitcoin has come down. And you can see historically, these whales are way smarter in their decisions than retail. You can see as the price skyrocketed here before a collapse, the whales started selling off, and they tend to be right, and we hope that they are right again. Now, what we've all been waiting for is that euphoria, because yes, Bitcoin at all-time highs is great, but we're really here for alt season. And James says, for your information, my bull posting is going to become insufferable. You've seen nothing yet. Bears, you may wish to unfollow me now. Godspeed, you bottom selling doom posting, hate-filled people. Alt season is coming. He says right here, starting December 1st, is the start of alt season. And House of Crypto says that's the spirit. And Fred Santoshi said, Peter, what's happening to your altcoins that you said would be doing really well, including a token called Metacade? Both delisted from some exchanges and prices have been melting. Do you still believe they will recover? House of Crypto says small caps are going to be bleeding the most during these quiet and confused markets. I still hold and will wait for greed to return. He'll wait for the top, the euphoria of the cycle. And Becker also agrees. He thinks the cycle is starting with privacy, AI, and robotics, but NFTs and gaming will mark the top euphoric, craziest returns of the cycle. And one token that we're partnered with here on the channel and House of Crypto is a strong proponent of is Metacade. They call themselves the home of gaming on Base, and honestly, Coinbase is absolutely crushing this cycle. Between them and Binance, they really are a duopoly. It's starting to be a duopoly inside the centralized exchange niche of crypto, and Metacade literally want to be that #1 gaming token on that #1 platform. And let me just show you how bullish House of Crypto is on Metacade. Bubby said, give us some alts to full port before tomorrow. House of Crypto says Beam, Sui, Cool, Metacade, and MLC. Peter says Metacade will be huge. And even stronger here, says, now that the market is red, can you please give us a high multiple coin? Peter from House of Crypto says, My Lovely Planet, which is MLC, which he's very bullish on, but also Metacade, the home of gaming on Base. There is two. Web3 Worm asked him to choose out of these 4 cryptos, and House of Crypto said that MLC and Metacade are both monster projects, doubling down and saying that Metacade will be huge in response to Pix Mad. Now, before I show you his price prediction on how big he thinks Metacade could become, I want to take a quick second just to tell you my thoughts on this. Peter legit gets more views than some of the biggest crypto influencers out there. I know he gets more views than Alex Becker. Maybe not per video, but literally per month, more people are watching Peter from House of Crypto than they are Alex Becker. And even in this crazy quiet market where my views are down, some videos are actually getting less than 10,000 views now, he's still crushing 90,000, 55,000 view videos. Just imagine how crazy things are going to get for Peter once that bull market, the euphoria, and the retail return. And so for him to be so bullish on Metacade, including a price prediction of potentially reaching 60 cents per token, you can see that the bullishness for the market does not stop with the entire Bitcoin market, but he also thinks the alts are going to be flying and tokens like Metacade in the gaming niche are going to do extremely well. Now, if you disagree, I want to share something with you. There are prediction markets out there. I mean, yes, you can go and short the market, which is pretty easy to do, but there are prediction markets that literally so many people on crypto Twitter think that Bitcoin for sure is going below $70,000 per token. They think it's just an absolute sure thing and it's only a matter of time. Well, the actual odds, guys, on a prediction market, and I don't know if it is or isn't, to be honest, but I know that money can be made if you are strongly convicted and believe that Bitcoin will be going below $70,000. For example, you can come over to something like Polymarket or something like Kalshi and put in as much money as feels comfortable to you to literally get paid out 10 to 1 if Bitcoin drops below $70,000. If you think it's going below $60,000, again, you can start betting on this and putting your money where your mouth is, especially literally everyone on Twitter, I feel like, is talking about how obvious it is that Bitcoin's going to be dropping below $70,000. Make sure you know the terms of the bet that you're making. But in reality, there's literally only a 10% chance that will happen. But if you want to hedge your bets, hedge your portfolio, this could be a great way to do it. What do you think? Do you think Peter from House of Crypto is on the money or do you think he is off? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video.